Journey is what it is for each of us. Your journey is...
What if I told you that one of the most beloved and respected actresses in Hollywood was quietly erased from the major film scene? Not because of scandal or lack of talent, but because she refused to play the roles Hollywood wanted her to. Phylicia Rashad, best known as the iconic TV mom Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show, was blackballed from major film roles for standing her ground against Hollywood stereotypes. This is the untold story of how a woman with grace, intelligence, and dignity was sidelined in an industry that demanded conformity over authenticity. Phylicia Rashad's rise to fame was meteoric. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, she was not just a TV star, she was a cultural icon. As Claire Huxtable, she portrayed a strong, articulate, and sophisticated black woman, a lawyer and mother who defied the limited and often demeaning roles available to black actresses at the time. Her performance was groundbreaking, offering a positive and multidimensional representation of black families rarely seen on American television. But behind the scenes, Rashad's career was hitting an invisible wall. According to insiders, the trouble began during pre-production on a major studio film in the early 1990s, which was supposed to be her big-screen breakthrough. Initially, she was the producer's dream choice. However, weeks before filming, executives pushed for rewrites that diluted her character's strength and authority. They wanted to make her more relatable, by adding submissive traits and turning her into a supporting figure revolving around a male lead. Rashad refused to accept this. She would not play meek or conform to stereotypes. In an industry built on obedience and conformity, this kind of resistance was dangerous. Rashad's refusal to water down her character was seen as a threat. The official reason given for her sudden disappearance from major film roles was creative differences, but insiders say it was much more than that. Hollywood's rigid and often unspoken rules about where black actresses belonged meant that Rashad's sophistication and intelligence were considered a liability. She was labeled too refined, too classy, and too intelligent for many roles, unless the part specifically called for it. This wasn't just about Rashad. It was about a system that boxed black actresses into narrow categories. The respectable mother, the teacher, the comedic sidekick, or the loud stereotype. Leading lady roles in serious, complex films were guarded like a private club, and Rashad simply didn't fit the mold Hollywood wanted. Meanwhile, white actresses with similar resumes walked straight into major film roles without resistance. The result was a slow, quiet blackballing. Rashad's name stopped coming up in casting meetings. Projects she was considered for fell through. Her agent heard the same vague praise, "She's perfect," but no offers materialized. This death by 1,000 cuts effectively erased her from Hollywood's top tier. At the same time, Rashad's personal life was complex and far from the perfect image she portrayed on screen. She was married 3 times, each relationship teaching her lessons about love, respect, and inner strength. Despite the heartbreaks, she never regretted these experiences, viewing them as part of her growth. Another layer to Rashad's story is her complicated relationship with Bill Cosby, her Cosby Show co-star and mentor. For years, Rashad remained silent about troubling behavior she witnessed on set. She recalled occasions where Cosby took young women into private rooms, but at the time, she chose to ignore it, thinking it was a personal matter. The show was at its peak, and Cosby controlled much of the production and network decisions. Speaking out could have cost her career. When the allegations against Cosby surfaced years later, Rashad began to rethink those moments. She admitted that what she saw wasn't normal, though she couldn't say it was illegal. Her decades of silence left her feeling partly responsible. Initially, she publicly defended Cosby, even making controversial remarks that seemed to dismiss the accusers. But over time, she changed her stance, acknowledging the importance of truth and transparency. This shift also influenced Rashad's career path. She moved away from television and film, focusing instead on education and theater directing. She took on leadership roles at universities, including her alma mater Howard University, mentoring a new generation of artists to ask difficult questions and seek truth in their work. Through theater projects like Purpose and Immediate Family, Rashad explored themes of personal truth versus public image, reflecting her own journey. Today, Rashad rarely appears on television or in major entertainment events. Instead, she dedicates herself to teaching, theater consulting, and community service. She has embraced honesty and courage as core values, encouraging young artists not to let fame cloud their intuition and to trust their feelings when something doesn't feel right. Her story is a powerful reminder of the systemic barriers Black actresses faced, and still face, in Hollywood. It shows how talent and integrity can be sidelined by an industry unwilling to embrace complexity and authenticity in Black female characters. Rashad's legacy is not just her iconic role as Claire Huxtable but her courage to stand up for herself and her commitment to truth and education. In the end, Phylicia Rashad's career was not accidentally sidelined. It was a carefully executed erasure of a woman who refused to play docile for Hollywood's comfort. The question remains, who made the call to shut her out, and why is no one in the industry willing to say her name when this subject comes up? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, Phylicia Rashad's story is one of resilience, dignity, and transformation. She rose above the limitations imposed on her, not by compromising her values, but by redefining success on her own terms. And that is a legacy worth celebrating.